One, two, three. Welcome to BPI Podcast, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest here. Thank you for accepting our invitation as special guest, Mr. Maulana Hasbi. An anime expert, a cosplay expert, and the leader of comical and carnivore events. The center one is Muhammad Ainul Hayat, the ambassador of Japanese cultures in Indonesia, and the last one, Fadli Ikram, an Indonesia Japan foreign ambassador. Japanese cultures right now are spreading very quickly in Indonesia.
Yes.
Anime, cosplay, cultures, food, music, lifestyles, traditional, and language are improving in very fast. Even many of festivals or events that held by these communities like that Maulana Hasbi always do to enjoy certain Japanese cultures such as komifuro, komika, and komika are the example of the events that gathering all of the Japanese cultures together in Indonesia. However, we have to see both of impact. We have got so many advantage and disadvantage because of the existence of the Japanese cultures in Indonesia. And that is why we are inviting our guests to talk about modern Japanese cultures. Okay, let us give us applause to them first. For the first question, for Muhammad Ainul, the ambassador of Japanese cultures in Indonesia. How was the beginning of the spreading Japanese cultures like anime and music began to spread in Indonesia?
Okay. Before we begin to explain how to Japanese culture spreading in Indonesia, we must know our country have a soft power. Soft power is the ability of country to give preference to other countries by means of cultural attraction. In Japan, there's soft power in the anime and manga. So, Japan's culture is producing potentials of our resource even after its economic slowdown. So all we know, the Japanese culture is well known throughout the world. And currently, anime and manga are also the main exports from Japan. In Indonesia, the spread of anime and manga existed in 1990 with the publication and broadcast of the Doraemon anime. And with the arrival of the Japanese animation cultural ambassador in 2008 to Indonesia, which further accelerated the spread of Japanese culture in Indonesia. Along with the increasing popularity of anime and manga in Indonesia, Japanese themed events are also becoming increasingly popular in Indonesia, such as cosplay and other Japanese festivals.
So, the first anime is being start to begin to spread in Indonesia is Doraemon. Okay. The second one, the speed of the spread of Japanese cultures in Indonesia is varying on the old group, on the old generation. They are afraid the Indonesian people will forget themselves and their own cultures. How is your solution to prevent the people who love Japanese cultures not forget their self-cultures in Indonesia?
Okay, in my opinion, this is something we are not worried about because the influence of the ethnic culture will not result in a conflict between two kinds of cultures. But on the contrary, the cultures that exist in Indonesia, but we must be careful about the spread of Japanese culture because if we do not deal with it preparation, it's possible to eliminate the culture in Indonesia. The preparation we need is teaching the importance of nationalism since childhood, which make people understand the importance of their culture.
That's a very good answer to teach since childhood of the nationalism in Indonesia. Okay, the next one I will ask the Fadli Ikram. How is Japanese culture's popularity or reputation like anime in the people's mind, especially young boys and girls?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for this very kind question for Mr. Fikri. Alright, you saying that how is the Japanese culture popularity on or reputation like anime people, especially with boys and girls are like. Alright, first of all, we must know that anime is very popular in Indonesia, not also in Indonesia but all over the world. In Japan, it's actually anime is most likely just like a movie, but every time they are they are visiting they are meet a foreign, for example like Indonesia, if they are talking like for if they are talking about anime, they will be very happy. For the Japanese, if they are talking about anime, they will be very proud of their own country. And for us, for the Indonesia, it will be very popular in our country. They also happy with their hobbies because you know that anime is also this is just a very famous hobby in Indonesia, especially in Kalimantan. And of course, the Japanese also think that if we are talking about anime, they are very proud of themselves because they were thinking like, wow, this people is very like anime. In our country, it's just like a movie. Like wow, it's very famous in our outside of our country. So it's very famous.
So the people is saying that they have the anime or Japanese culture on the northeast, they have a good reputation, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh, because they are famous on the spread of Indonesia and spreading on the nationality of the country. Okay, the next one, I will ask him the most Maulana Hasbi and cosplay expert. What activities like Japanese culture lovers association always being held every time, and what are the impacts for the local communities of society?
Like Mr. Fadli said before, it's our hobby, right? And what activity we do in the carry out, we usually do some kind of event, maybe any event it's like comic cat and another and matsuri maybe. And is it impact on society? Yes, of course, it's impact on society. This is will be encouraging of someone creativity, someone of knowledge, prophet new knowledge about Japanese culture from the community. It's not just like that. It will be good knowledge about culinary culture and another of the Japanese culture to the community.
So they are sharing their knowledge like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. And then, why even when events like Komifuro and Comical have held?
Komifuro, right? Komifuro it's not the last year, it's online, and it's this year. It's held in DSD Hall, 10 Convention Exhibition, or we can call it ECA. It's located at Jalan DSD of Grand Boulevard Raya number 1, DSD City, Tangerang, Banten. And this year, Komifuro will be the 50th held in Indonesia. And it held on Saturday, 24 September 2022, and Sunday, 25 2022. And with on the spot, or you can call it OTS, and the price of the ticket to enter the Komifuro is Rp50.000.
Okay. Events like Komifuro and Comical have held annually, right? Oh, every year. Okay. The next one.
I forgot to answer the comical, right?
Yes.
Comical or Komik Kalimantan. Now it's served as the comical or Komik Kalimantan is the first doujinshi convention in Kalimantan Selatan. And this event was held on September 11, 2022, and it held at the Bina Satria building in Banjarbaru, South Kalimantan.
Okay. Do these assembly events like Comiket, Komifuro, and Comical help the regional economy around the meeting point? Do you ever to make cooperation program with the local government? I'm sure.
I not really the government about government must know about our event, right? We are support to our event, and me and my team want to make things together between fellow Japanese culture lover, share idea, creativity, and support each other. Also want to introduce the culture we like to wider community in Indonesia, and the government also support too.
There are many cooperation with the local government.
Yes.
Are there ever any charity event, charity activities that the lovers of Japanese cultures have done in Indonesia?
Yes, of course. And this happened a few weeks ago. After the screening of the One Piece Red movie, there was a food stall that provide free food for people to celebration for screening the One Piece movie Red. And it held in Wednesday and September 21, 2022, and the food stall was called by Warteg Mamaku, located at Cilandak, South Jakarta. And the offer that they are free even more than 100 portion for free to other people, not only just an animal lover, just many people of the community in Indonesia.
So there are so many charity activities that held by Japanese cultures lover in Indonesia, right?
Too many, and this.
Okay, the next question. We will back again to the Fadli and Ikram. Okay, the problem, we will bring a new problem this. The most of animation based activities like anime and comics makes animator difficult. As long as I know, the Asian people having a free mindset. They having a free mindset that as long they are it will free. Is that a way to unstupid them in Indonesia?
Okay, first of all, we must know that making anime is not easy. Okay, first of all, the branch of the anime is first thing that we know is from novel. After that will be a comic, and after that will be an animation. But of course, we must have a lot of budgets to make an anime, right? So if there is a various activities like anime, comics, and animator, it will be very difficult actually because we must have a lot of budgets, and if there is any anticipate that Indonesia, people of Indonesia still have still very low, like they must go to in Japan there are academy for making an anime. So if the Indonesian are very interested to making an anime, they must go over there to go to that academy to make the anime even better. For example, like if they wanted to make a story, they must make a novel first. After a novel, they make a comic. After that, and if there is and after they have a permission, they will go to make an anime. As long the story is made, everyone in there is very interesting.
So in the end, so we have the solution of this problem is we have to teach the students or the children who like anime, how it's hard, how it is difficult, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, it was a good answer. Okay, next one, Muhammad Ainul Hayat. How can we enjoy anime and cosplay while supporting their author in Indonesia?
So, as Fadli Ikram mentioned it, cost of cosplay and making an anime is not cheap. So, we can support the anime authors or publishers by buying an official license for an anime or by watching official channels or websites and purchase their license. For manga authors in Indonesia, we can buy the manga on several websites such as Media Bukatindo. That website provides the web manga that published to the internationals.
So there are many of legal anime and cosplay or even in Indonesia, right? Okay, it's a good news for us. Next one, we will go to Maulana Hasbi again. Do you ever have financial problems when cosplaying or holding this event?
Financial problem, just like Mr. Hayat said before, cosplay is not cheap because of course were many problems for the cosplay, right? Because the hobby require a bit of money, not a bit, a lot of money. Because we need to buy a custom from the character we want to make or we want to imitate. And is it cheap? Obviously not. But is the terminal? No, because when you do what you love, money is not a barrier.
So the financial problem is really hard. But if you love something, we have to spend that like that. We have to spend happy, right?
Yes.
Next one, Fadli Dzil again. Has there ever been an exchange program that has been conducted?
Yes, of course. Actually, there is more contact exchange program for Indonesia to Japan, and of course the outside. Because we know that many of young teenagers who likes anime and anything, I don't know, like having they want to make a study in Japan, they're really happy about it. But as we know that popular, but the problem of the what is the name? Social in Japan is very low, right? Because they're having a trauma. You know that you know what I said. People of Indonesia must be have very most of my friends that I know, they are also working in Japan and they're very happy about it. And also they have ranked up like I don't know like very high rank. So after I asked, how's your life in Japan? They were really happy, but they're also heavily mental because you know people of Japan is very hard. You have to train your mental if you want to go there. But for the exchange students like Japanese to Indonesia and Japanese to Indonesia, it's very good because most of the Japanese wants more to learn from Indonesia because you know that in relationship between Japanese and Indonesia is very close, right? So I think so.
So there are so many exchange programs that have been conducted by government of the Indonesia and Japan, right? It was a very good news. Okay, next again, we are back to Muhammad and Hayat again. What are the positive impacts or benefits that can be taken clearly with the coming of Japanese culture to Indonesia?
So the Japanese culture in Indonesia, of course, have a benefit impacts and positive impacts for the community. For the community, and this has some impact on supports many young to think more modernism and standard living, improve standard living, emergence of cultural renewal that enrich the diversity of indigenous Indonesian culture. Science develops better, the flow of information is getting better, promotion of national culture has become easier. Industrial productivity increased since the Indonesian inclusion, Japanese inclusion in Indonesia.
So there are so many positive impacts of benefits that can be taken, right? Then the best one is to try to make the people of Indonesia, especially for the young people, think to modernize. Okay. Next again, the last one for the Ikram. When Japanese cultures come to Indonesia, the change and development of adult skills, interest in culture frequently change drastically. How to solution to that the direction of the development of Japanese culture does not reduce of the nationalist sense.
Alright. First, the thing that we know Japanese culture come to Indonesia is very long time ago. Because it's very famous, it's very bisa diterima semua orang. And actually it's not change development of idleness for my opinion. As long you're happy with your hobbies, it's not a big problem, really. As long you very sangat mencintai your nationalism, it's not a very bad thing. We have a nationalism that we have in our heart right now, right? Because as long you think that Japanese culture is just a hobby and you just like it, just for example like watching anime, not very famous about it and not too fanatic about it, it's very okay.
Okay, that was a good answer. And the last question for all of three of our guests here. Do you have any impression or message you would like to send to the listeners here?
Oh, yes. I have some message for many people there. I think it's even, right? From the even. If you think even or comical, it's just for whips or animal fur, yeah, well, it's true, but not completely true. It's true. There's an even like this, especially for animal fur, but that doesn't mean only us can come to this event. Ordinary people can come too, because we are distributed in introducing culture, creativity, various or culinary delights, and helping UMKM and providing entertainment for the community, which you might have never seen before, adding to your insight and understanding. So, if even help near your maybe your host in or in your country, you can come in. If you not animal lover, yes, you can come in.
Okay, that was a good message from the Maulana Hasbi to all of us here. Next one, the message.
Okay, I have a message for all listeners here. Please continue to support authors or publishers, both from Indonesian or from Japan itself, and don't think that the inclusion of Japanese culture in Indonesia is a bad thing, because the inclusion of Japanese culture in Indonesia has a lot of positive impacts in society.
The last one, message from the Dzil.
Okay, thank you. Like I said before, if you are liking an anime or Japanese culture like something like that, it's very okay. As long you enjoy watching it, liking it, it's very good for you because it makes increasing our creativity and we want to make something like that too, right? So for the one of you, if you want to go to Japan, you still have all the time to go there. If you wanted to study out there, it will be very good experience for you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the answer, and thank you very much for our special guest today. Let us give them applause. In the end of this podcast, I want to say thank you to all of the audience here. Thank you everyone. 3, 2, 1. The podcast is closed.